Welcome to Monaco. Yes, that is where we are racing here today. Now, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Before that, housekeeping. The previous episode, the previous video, go check it out. Link in the top right. Huge championship implications, guys. A massive episode. It didn't get the biggest response, so it's likely you may have missed it, so go watch it. I'll leave a link in the top right. Spoiler warning ahead. Huge spoiler warning ahead. Anyway, Monaco is on the agenda, and I'm looking forward to it. In the meantime, the previous episode, we picked up a massive win at the expense of Max Verstappen suffering his first mechanical failure of the season, thus really opening up the championship and giving us a bit of a margin. Now, that aside, we had a very good performance. Lando also up there as well. A great weekend for the team, making it a 1-2 finish. And we arrive here looking to improve reliability, specifically the energy store, because we are about to switch onto our second unit and we're not even halfway through the season, which is a bit scary because we only get 2 for the entire calendar year.
Okay, mate, I'm pleased to say that our new parts have come through without any issue, so they'll be on the car, ready for the next race weekend.
Now, with that out of the way, we now have the balancing out the field chip taking effect once again. Now, we'll talk about that in a bit. The forecast this weekend is dry. In the championship, as I mentioned, Verstappen DNF'd. We got a 1-2 with Norris in second place. Thus, you can see that the championship has completely flipped on its head. Norris only 5 points behind Verstappen. We've got a huge lead in the constructors, only 6 rounds in, and things are looking very good. However, one mechanical failure from us and Max is right back in the fight, and so is Lando. So we have to tread carefully. Anyway, balancing out the field. The chip has taken effect. We lost an upgrade last episode, thus Mercedes and Red Bull overtake us this weekend. Mercedes have now had to remove one of theirs, so we'll see how much of a drop they take in the next episode in Canada. And I'm loving this because it's keeping things really active at the top and lots of ups and down movements, which is really exciting. Now, we'll see how things improve. Either way, that is going to be it for the updates as we jump into practice. And yet again, for the 3rd season running, we are using Cockpit View around Monaco to add a bit more spice to the episode. Now you can see the engine in the bottom right. We are going to race with this. We have a lot of wear. In the last episode we replaced the ICE just before qualifying, but we're trying to stretch some of these components out.
Okay, test complete, and that was a really good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that. Well done.
Now, we don't have to take that risk, but this is a very low power circuit, so we don't have to worry too much about taking a fresh engine here. It's namely the control electronics and the energy store I'm worried about, because we're going to get 2 of those for the whole season and they're both pretty knackered, especially the energy store. We are already sub 90% full power. Anyway, we did our race runs, good pace. However, we're finishing last, albeit on medium tyres. So hard to tell what the true picture is. Either way, a good session, good fuel efficiency, good tyre wear, maximum R&D points, and we can now jump into qualifying around the Monaco circuit.
Not all qualifying sessions are created equal. From the moment that a driver sits in a go-kart, they want to end up here, in the pit lane, ready and raring for qualifying at the Monaco Grand Prix.
Here we go, the best qualifying of the year, the one where it means the most. A track where it's impossible to overtake, so grid position means everything. Now, this first lap was a little bit scruffy. First half of the lap, not great. Second half, a lot better, but our final corner was a little bit ragged. Not fully happy with that lap. Across the line, a 1 minute 8.9 only gets us into 13th on our first attempt, which is a bit of a concern. So I go for a second attempt, a back-to-back basically, no cooldown, looking to try and find some more time, and we have a really good last corner, getting the drive, and we find the 10th up to the line, and we move into P9 with a purple sector 3, and that is going to be enough to move us into Q2 swiftly. Verstappen setting the pace in the 1 minute 8 dead area. However, George Russell, Lance Stroll, 2 big surprise eliminations in Q1. thus cutting out some of our rivals, especially George Russell in the Mercedes. Now, we jump into Q2, and things are starting to ramp up as we get a bit loose out of the Nouvelle chicane, almost clipping the barrier with the left rear. Now through the chicane at the swimming pool, just attacking the curbs, correcting the car profile, and now into La Rascasse. Bit of a lock up on the way in, keep the car intact, and now the final corner, get that wall on the inside as close as possible, and now run to the line as we open DRS, and this is going to be a 1:08.595, which is still only 8th, and not exactly where you want to be with Verstappen doing the 0.0 in Q1. Now, I went for another back-to-back, consecutive lap attempt, and we only were finding a 10th up until the swimming pool, but then we really launched it through the second chicane at the swimming pool complex, and we also found a bit more time through the last 2 corners as Verstappen goes even quicker, and that is going to be a lot more in the realm of what we want to see as we go fourth. Another purple sector 3 and a 1:08.232 on the books. Verstappen into the 7s along with Alonso, so they're really leveling up. No more surprise eliminations in this one. Both Haas cars make it into Q3 at the expense of Lance Stroll and of course George Russell. So we jump into Q3. Verstappen a 1:07.4 on his banker, which is ridiculous. So we need to find something big, and we need to find something special on this one. So our banker in Q3 is underway. We absolutely bossed turn 1, making our way up towards Massenet, down to 4th for the second part of the corner, then through Casino. Could have attacked that inside a bit more. Good first sector though, as we're down a fraction on Sainz in P6. Then down towards the Lowe's hairpin, first gear, hook the inside curb if you can, and then quickly back on the throttle. Aggressive over this one, and then we head to Portier, second to third, but we hit the barrier on the inside.
No tyre concerns at the moment, just focus on the driving.
We luckily escaped damage, which is huge. Now we went again on that same run, and we are about a 10th up at the point where we crashed last time. So going a bit quicker on this one, and now we're going to try and push on to finish the lap, and you can see we brushed the wall out of swimming pool and now making our way through the final corner, closing out the lap. What is it going to be? A 1:07.9, another purple final sector, and that moves us into the top 5, and that gives us a good reference for this final attempt and this final qualifying lap at Monaco. So guys, enjoy it. Let's go full send, and hopefully we can find some more time. Second place, not too shabby. We lost a 10th in the last pretty much 2 corners, which cost us pole. I really think we had a shot at pole, but to be fair, I nailed those last 2 corners on my previous run. Very good lap. The car came together beautifully. I went full commitment and it worked everywhere, and we pulled out a stonker, but not quite enough. Verstappen on pole, Lando in 4th, Leclerc in home 3rd, and there's your lot for qualifying.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino, first opened in 1863, and of course a certain road race first held in 1929. there is no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. The astonishing Circuit de Monaco is, for all intents and purposes, virtually unchanged since its inaugural race back in 1929. The faster cars of today ensure the 19 corners past the casino and along the seafront remain as thrilling as ever. A 2.1-mile lap here takes us around an entire country, yet never more than a few inches away from the race-ending barriers. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday and he'll start from pole position. And it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Considering the rest of the grid we have Leclerc, Norris, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Sainz, Tsunoda, Gasly, Hülkenberg, Oscar Piastri, Bottas, Zhou, Teo Porcher, Albon, Ocon, Ricciardo, Stroll, Russell, and Ollie Behrman. That's it then. It's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race. Welcome to the commentary box. I'm Alex Jakes. Alongside me is Anthony Davidson. Well, they're having a better time than their teammates so far this year. How do you keep that momentum going? Well, it's all about forgetting last time because that was a bit of a shocker. How do they change the story today?
You've got to put it behind you. Whatever happened last time, I was always told as a driver, park it, forget about it. Obviously, feel the pain when it happens, but then you can't dwell on it and carry that through to the next race. So put it behind you and just crack on with this race coming your way now.
Here we are then for the race at Monaco. P2 on the grid, Verstappen on pole, looking to try and get back in the championship fight. Of course, that last race, that retirement from Max really hurt him. Now, we are running a bit of a risk with these components, but Monaco is not a power circuit, so hopefully we can make them last the duration of the race. Hopefully we can make it. Anyway, strategy for this one is going to be very simple. A medium to hard tyre strategy. Nothing really too complex. Tyre wear should be fairly low around here. Fuel, I'm going for 1.5 laps of fuel extra. Again, we are bumping the fuel up as we've been having fuel trouble the last few races. Hopefully we nip everything in the bud. So only one thing left to do now, and that's to get a good start, which has been an issue for me, as you guys have mentioned in the comments. And this is a track where a bad start would really hurt us, so hopefully we can get a good one and make it count. I've tried to maintain some temperature, which is difficult here. The AI goes so slow, but we've done a good enough job. But now we have to try and get the traction down. So let's line her up, hopefully not get a reset, and get a good start. Right then, let's try it and make it count. I don't know how many rows I've got, but lights are on. That'll do.
We're accumulating somewhere on the MGUK. To manage this, we're going to need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
That will do just fine. P2 behind Max. Let's take it from there and see if we can stick with him for now. In this initial phase of the race, heavy tank of fuel, so already running deep there into Mirabeau and also into the Lowe's hairpin, just struggling to find any sort of grip. Verstappen's completely dropping me through this section. Luckily, we're strong in sector 3, but we have to try and get back on the pace, get back within DRS by the end of next lap. DRS, of course, will be enabled on this one, but there won't be any DRS until the end of the following lap, so good start, we'll take it. Let's try and get these tyres warmed up and get our confidence rolling. Right, we've dropped Leclerc out of DRS range. First proper lap at full pelt, full pace. Verstappen though still pulling away and way quicker than me. 9/10 quicker on that last lap.
The energy store's depleting, reducing our overall capacity. The more charge you hold, the faster that capacity will drop.
Bit of smoke there. That's from Verstappen. Not sure if he might have made a mistake or lost a bit of time. Looks okay to me. He seems to still have a decent gap. But yeah, we're still just trundling along right now. We're pulling away from the cars behind, but the reality is we don't have Verstappen's pace. I've been brushing the walls already a few times, pushing the limits, flirting with the barriers. Just clipped the right rear there. Slight mistake. Luckily didn't lose too much time.
Alright, we're seeing a loss of power from the turbocharger now. Loss of power on the turbo.
That's our most worn component. That's the one that's going to suffer this race. Either way, decent lap this one. We're going to clock in a personal best by a quarter of a second actually, 3/10 almost. So that's a bit more like it. Finally starting to get comfortable with the car. We actually gained a bit of time on max on that lap for the first time, but it's just taken me this long to get comfortable with the car setup in race trim, but I'm still not fully there yet.
Okay, Lewis, we've got some clear track in front of us, and let's make the best of it. So please make this next one a very fast lap.
That should be pretty easy.
Great stuff. It looked like you made easy work of that target. Let's try and keep that going right through to the end of the race.
The tyre wear is an interesting one. I said before, I've been clipping walls, touching barriers, and you get an increase in tyre wear. So my front left is taking the brunt of that. However, the wear won't go up anymore. It'll sit at 32 until eventually the other tyre wears catch up. So we're just going to basically suffer on the left side a bit more for the next 5 laps or so. We're starting to gain on max. I think we're quicker on older tyres, but obviously on the fresher rubber, max is quicker. Another thing to note, the fuel, again, is going down like crazy. I don't know why the race runs are just not accurate, but the 1.5 wasn't enough, so we are going to have to manage fuel in this race. The good thing about fuel is that this track is actually quite decent for lift and coast. You can let the car roll through a lot of corners and not lose time. Gap now under 3.5 on max, so we are making progress, although we do brush the wall there again.
Tyre condition still looking good.
Letting the car roll through some of these corners is helping us keep the fuel under control. Just want to try and close in as much as possible before the pit phase.
Okay, Lewis, we're currently burning through fuel a bit quicker than we'd like, so let's try and make it last for now, please.
Yep, I'll try and see what I can do. I think the pit stop might put an end to that. Tyre wear icon has just flashed up in the bottom right. I'm trying to push here and put the pressure on Verstappen. I've stopped fuel saving for the last couple of laps, trying to see if I can make some inroads, but we just brushed the wall there.
Okay, pit in this lap, and remember the speed limit. We'll be penalised if we exceed it. Keep that in mind as you approach.
Yep, that was a good end to the lap there. Verstappen also pits. We don't speed. We guessed our speed correctly. In we go. I don't think we held Verstappen up at all, but we're both going to switch into the hard tyres. 2.5 and away we go. Standard stop. Right behind Verstappen here, so this is looking pretty tidy. Let's see if there's any traffic. There's a Ferrari. I think that's Pierre Gasly who could be in the mix.
Pit strategy complete. See these tyres through to the end now.
It's going to be close between Max and Pierre. Pierre just gets out in front, and that's huge because both Ferraris on hard, so they're going to go for a few more laps here. So we're going to get a chance to really close in on Verstappen unless he passes Gasly on track. So the remaining cars are now going to box, bar Leclerc, of course on that hard tyre, along with Pierre Gasly. We're now in DRS range, so we get to try and save a bit of fuel as well, which is good. So hit the objective and also just put our fuel troubles behind us in this race. Although I will admit, that's not as extreme as other ones.
No need to worry about the tyre condition for now. Everything's looking good.
Like I said, feels quite manageable here with lift and coast. Oh, Verstappen now, I think, just clipped the barrier, as do we. Pierre right now being a pretty good roadblock.
Oh, mate, you made that look easy. Nice work. That's why I love working with you. Smashed it.
I think I'm happy now with the fuel where it is. So we can now try to figure out where to pass Verstappen. It's going to be difficult because DRS is non-existent. So it's got to be in a corner somewhere. But we do just struggle on traction a little bit, that I can't quite get close enough into braking zones. Oh, thought about it. Try to have a look there. The issue is they're very slow through Raskas but not actually in the braking zone. Leclerc pits, so that means Gasly will pit this lap, so that's going to release Verstappen. Oh, no. I was close there last lap, I thought I'd try it, but Max was never going to leave the door open there. Oh, Pierre locks up. Oh, just nowhere to go. Wasn't that close either, which doesn't help. Let's see then. Gasly will pit, which maybe might cost Verstappen some time through here. I'm going to try and set up the exit through Les Rascailles. Not quite able to get through there. I just can't get enough traction. Verstappen's tyres are too fresh. So back into our original positions. Leclerc's only 3 behind on mediums, by the way. That has really worked out well for him. So he might join the party. Well, Leclerc's absolutely cooking with that time. 1 minute 9.5. Verstappen now pushing, so he's been released. I'm keeping up with him, but there's not any big difference in pace right now between us. Now that we're at full pace again, so we're just having to follow for the time being.
Okay, Lewis, it's Verstappen ahead. We can't let them hold us up for too long, so let's try and get past as soon as possible and crack on. Push, push.
What do you think I've been trying to do, bruv? Just struggling in this phase. Verstappen's pulling away. Leclerc putting pressure on now big time. Having to really lock in. We're trying to hang on to Max's DRS. And we're out. We don't have DRS on Verstappen. Whew. Hopefully, it's a bit like the previous stint, where we'll come good later on worn tyres, but that's a track limit. First one of the race. Part of the reason why I'm struggling here is because that objective thing is right in my line of sight. So I can't see a damn thing when I'm turning through right-handers. And it's really starting to affect me now. It's becoming off-putting. Just need to get through the next lap and a half so I can get visibility back. That would also explain my pace issues. Again, I've hit multiple walls. I've brushed them multiple times. And it's given me damage.
Okay, unlucky, mate. It was a good try, but we didn't quite meet our targets. Not to worry. Get your head down and chin up. And let's focus right the way into the checkered flag. Right,
at least now we regain some visibility. So let's see if we can try and push back on. We've almost dropped Leclerc here. This was a good lap. Just like in the first stint. It's taken me a while, but now I'm getting my wings underneath. And we go personal best. Even with these tyres. Gap to max 1.1. That was a really good lap though. Let's try and get back within DRS if possible, but that's what we need. Right, I think we're back in DRS range of Verstappen. Just gotta keep it tidy through swimming pool. No mistakes. And we can start to plan a late attack here, hopefully. Let's try and hang on to these tyres as well, if possible. Whoa. 3 tyres giving out there for the first time. This is difficult. There's just genuinely not enough of a pace differential between us, between me and Max, that I can make a move somewhere. I'm strong in sector 3, but I lose time everywhere else. So it kind of levels out. It's a tough one. I've got some charge, some fuel, but 2 laps to go. I'm just yet to even try to, attack and put my car somewhere. I just can't get close enough. I tried to wind it up there all the way back to back and get that momentum. Onto the last lap, last chance saloon here. Oh, I tried to stay close through that sequence, but Max just gets enough of an exit out of Portier that I can't challenge into Nouvelle. We're going to get one more crack at this. We're going to go for broke. Come on. Yep. Oh my god. Woo. Almost T-boned him. Right, okay, second place. It is what it is. I tried. Just didn't have the pace at any point.
I gave it everything I Yes. Gave it everything.
He has left the field behind. It is victory for Max Verstappen.
I mean, it looked like they were in a different category at points during the race, led every lap. I mean, what more can we say?
Here come today's winners. The team at Red Bull have done a phenomenal job recently. It's clear to see that they've put in the work, and they should be proud of the victory they've secured here.
Well, there we go, guys. That is it for Monaco. Charles Leclerc picks up the extra point for the fastest lap. Verstappen bounces back from a DNF in the last race to win, and we survive with a very old power unit, which is ultimately all that matters. So, yeah, good day in the office. Lando P5. We move on. We lose a few points to Max, but generally keep our lead in the championship, which is going to be the main thing. So if we look at the standings, you can see 26 points is the gap to Verstappen, 46 to Norris, and then Russell and Co. quite a way back. In the Constructors, 76 over Red Bull, so we lose a little bit of ground, but generally again a good weekend for us and surviving with a very worn engine. So guys, we tried, we couldn't quite pull off the win or the overtake, but still good points, and we move on to the next one, guys. So like the video, subscribe for more, and hopefully we can try and win the next race. As always, a big shout out to the members for supporting the channel and the content and the videos. And yeah, guys, cheers for watching, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and let's goodbye from me.